All righty. We are recording, but we're not live yet on Facebook. So let's go live on Facebook. All right. All righty. Okay, I think we're officially live on Facebook. I'm just
I'll
gonna
go check.
I see it. I see it. I'm just not sure.
Yes, you're live.
There I am. I am live. I'm going to keep it open on my phone. Hello, Happy New Year, everyone. Th Liz, thank you so much for joining me on the Zoom. I appreciate having you here because I get to hear your questions. So for everybody who's watching on Facebook, feel free, go ahead, jump on the Zoom if you want. I'll let you in, and we can ask questions. We could do this interactively, or I could just basically talk to you all in the World Wide Web. So first things first, it is January 1st, 2025. I am so excited. 2024 was a crazy year. So many things happened. There were ups, there were downs, and I'm sure that many of you, like myself, had all of these moments too. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because, we get really motivated at the beginning of the year and we come up with all these New Year's resolutions. And I saw so many different statistics about New Year's resolutions, and I have been talking about this for the last 5 years. That having goals is more important than having resolutions because goals will allow you to take things throughout a year, whereas a resolution is something that we decide that we're going to do. But unfortunately, we don't put the goals behind them. We don't put the action plan that's behind the actual resolution. So we're working towards changing something with a resolution, but we actually don't know the process by which we need to set goals. We need to celebrate success. We need to do all of these small little things to be able to accomplish the goal, whether the goal is for now and 1 month, or if it's from 6 months from now, or if it's a 5 year goal. What are the steps that we actually need to take? And a resolution, unfortunately, is a great idea, but there's no actual action behind it. And so I wanted to really be sure that I was going to be able to offer you guys something for the year so that we can start together and we can take a look at what goal setting looks like and how it actually works. So, with that being said, Liz, I want to say thank you again for joining me on the Zoom. I appreciate it. How are you starting your new year so far?
Wonderful. It's very relaxing, and really in that mindset of not doing those resolutions because they don't work. And I do have a few goals, so it's just when it's going to happen, how long it's going to take. So I'm really just taking it as it comes and letting it flow. So yeah, it's a great start of the new year.
That's amazing. I love that. And I love how so you're actually setting this up for me, which is perfect. I see there are people watching on Facebook. So thank you so much for being here with me. Um, like I said, there's a link if you do want to join the Zoom, please go ahead. But what I loved about what Liz just said was that she has goals and she's looking towards implementing those things into her life. And again, that's what we're coming here to talk about today. Okay, so I have some notes. I am going to go back and forth on my notes. I'm doing this kind of like unofficial presentation style. I do this in some of the presentations that I do, but I'm going to do it a little bit more like informally today. I might jump back and forth with some of my notes. So yeah, just like flow with me. First things first. I think what's really important that we don't do enough of is celebrating our wins. Oh, and I'm getting a FaceTime video call, so I'm going to decline that. So one thing that we don't do is celebrate our wins. I think one of the most important things that we have to be doing is celebrating more because as human beings, we have a tendency of really focusing on the negative. That is a human function of ours. It's actually part of our nervous system that we're set up to basically prepare ourselves for the worst, right? Because we don't want to repeat patterns, we don't want to repeat things that have happened in the past, and so therefore we put ourselves in this place where we go into fight or flight, and so we have a tendency of focusing on the negative things. So we like try to plan around the negative all the time. So we don't focus enough on the positive things that are happening. So if we have one negative thing that is happening, there's probably been about 50 positive things that are happening. But the one thing that you're going to be thinking about is going to be the negative one. Why is that? It's literally built into our biology. So it's something that we have to do for ourselves to learn how to go ahead and make that change that habit to be able to bring in some new things. So the first thing that I want to really hunker down on is celebrating our successes. So I am going to start. Um, was my year the way that I planned? Absolutely not. Were there 1,000 things that could have gone wrong that did go wrong? Absolutely. And I will not lie to you, for about 6 months, everything felt like it was just going to hell. The whole year that I had planned for myself strategically, financially, for the growth of my business, for my personal goals, everything was going down the drain. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fell into the same trap that we all do. I started focusing on all the things that were going wrong, and I really stopped remembering and realizing all the things that were going right. I started to forget that, I was still, I still had a good morning routine, that I still had a business, that I still had gratitude for the things in my life. And I started to really focus on all the negative things. And so I had to break myself out of that, and it took me a little while. I would say it was probably around August or September that I got myself out of that slump. And again, things are going to happen in your lives that are going to shake you to your core. And that doesn't mean that we ignore them. That doesn't mean that we push them on the side. It means that we do have to go through them. But there's a point where our personal development path will take us to the next level. And if we've done the work and we've trained ourselves to be able to surpass these things, um, you can come out of it. You can go back to remembering. You can reshift your mindset. You can basically just like rejig your whole thought process. And so basically I had to do that. It was in around August or September. I really had to start looking at the things that I had in my life, and I had to look at all of the beautiful things that have happened since some of those tragic events that happened to me in 2024. And with that, I started to go back to my gratitude practice, my celebration of success, reminding myself that I'm doing amazing things every day, whether it's in my business or whether it's in my personal life. And it's all the little super tiny things that count. It's not the big magical moments. It's not just, the retreat that I held in November that was amazing. It was the experience from the beginning of the planning process and the stages, all of those little things. How did I get to that goal? How did I get there? It wasn't just one thing. And I didn't just show up at the retreat. There were so many things that happened in advance that I needed to do in order to be able to get there. So, Liz, do you, off the top of your head, when it comes to celebration, while I was talking, was there anything that popped up in your mind that you want to celebrate today for your last year?
For my last year, um, I think it is a celebrate in like in general, my creative process and all the little little projects that I had the
Mm.
privilege to be a part of. So yeah, that's what I'm mostly grateful for. And I think now my goal is to focus being doing that a little bit more creative for myself. And and I only started thinking about it's funny because it's something I've always wanted to do, but it's actually my son saying, "Well, Mom, you've been helping so many people and creating so many different
Mm.
beautiful things." And he's had the privilege of seeing that. He says, "You should be doing something for yourself." And and that was just like a couple days ago. And I said, you're right. So that's what I'm grateful for, and that's what's going to be happening this year. I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm going to set those goals and see where it leads me.
Well, 100% I'm going to be there with you to cheer you on and help you. you need. So 100% I'm going to be there. For those
Thank
of you
you.
who don't know, Liz is my great friend. We worked together many, many moons ago, but we also work together. She's part of my incredible team, and she's also a part of another team that I'm part of. And I love her immensely. And I could not do everything that I do without you. So I will
I
give it
love
right
you
back.
too, and I appreciate you so much.
I'm going to give it right back to you. Anything that you need for this goal. And that's, I think it's great that you're here today and we're going to be able to do some of this together. Um, so when it comes to your goals, so my favorite analogy is one that I came up with on my own. You don't climb out, you don't get to the top of Mount Everest by starting at the base of the mountain. Now, what does that mean? People are like, oh, well, yeah, of course, you start at the bottom of the mountain and then you climb your way to the top. Of course, that's the way that it goes. But it doesn't start there. And I think that people forget that your goals start long before we actually get to the point where we're starting to actually execute on the actual goal, which is that climb to the top of the mountain. I truly believe that it starts with first the intention. It starts with the idea that we have, and then we start to map out the things that we've got to do. And I think that having goals that are over a period of a year are important to have, but I also think that it's really important to break these goals down into smaller steps. One of the things that I love the most, it was a book that I read a few years ago. It is called The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. And I'll see if I remember later, but if you're rewatching this and you want to know the book or whatever, I can post a link for it. But one of the things that they talk about is really setting goals that you can do every single day that will reach the pinnacle of the actual ultimate goal. So if you're creating, for example, I have a graph that's up on my screen. Actually, I mean, I might as well share it. Hold on, let me share my screen. Um, these are kind of my notes. So if you see over here, I don't know if am I seeing this? Hold on a second. Are you? I'm checking Facebook to make sure that. Okay, so now we are actually sharing my screen on Facebook. All right, perfect. So the goal setting to the now, this is a very handy chart that I've used multiple times for myself, for my clients, but we take a look at the someday goal. What is that one thing that I want to do someday? Then we basically break it down for like the 5 year goal, the 1 year goal, the monthly goal, the weekly goal, and the daily goal, and the right now goal. And I have kind of made this a little bit easier. And so I think that it's important that we do kind of 3 month goals, which is why when I built out this incredible book, the Small Steps, Big Wins Planner, I built this out in a quarterly way so that we could together create smaller, more manageable goals to get us to that base of the mountain and eventually to the top of the mountain. So like if we're looking at a 1 year goal, we're looking at something that's like really big. So Liz, you said that you wanted to take this creative gift that you have. I'm assuming that it has to do with publishing something.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just say we're looking at this over a period of a year, right? What is the one thing that you could do right now based on your someday goal that will help you to get to your next goal? What is one thing that you can do right now? Simple. Go super simple.
Um, write my ideas down.
Ah, write my ideas down. And it's funny because I heard the hesitation in your voice a little bit because you're like, okay, what is this? Like, is this actually something that like it should be in the goal stepping setting process? And yes, it should be. So we'll take a bigger goal. Actually, we'll take the same goal of the Mount Everest, okay? Like I said, you don't start at the base of the mountain. So you've started today on January 1st, and you decided that at the end of the year, maybe that's a little bit soon because Mount Everest trek, like it's a pretty big goal. So like I myself don't see myself doing a Mount Everest thing by the end of the year. That would be probably a 2 year goal for me. But let's just say I was at a stage in my life where this was the end of the year, I was going to go and climb Mount Everest. What is the one thing that I need to do? I think I need to like research, right? And
Mhm.
so For me, I would make sure that that was part of one of my things. And maybe that would be my first month, part of my first month goal was to actually go ahead and research everything that I have to do, or, research the types of shoes that I need. Like, we don't even think about that, but you need special shoes, you need special clothing, you need all kinds of things to actually get to the top of the mountain. Like, you can't get to the base of the mountain, not have the right backpack, not have the proper water pack, not have the perfect the perfect, like the perfect setup ultimately at the end of the day. And I have somebody that joined me on Zoom. Hi Sandra, my favorite. How's it going?
Hi, I'm wearing my new silk pajama and a gold mask. I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't mind whatsoever. You know what I'm going to do though? I'm going to remove the spotlight so that, like, do you mind being seen on Facebook Live? Because if you do, then we'll just keep it like this.
Maybe keep it like this.
Okay, we'll keep it
Yeah.
like this so I can see you. I'm
Yeah.
fine. And Liz, just so that you know, the way that I have it set up right now, it's only showing my face, even though Sandra is talking. So if you wanted to put your camera back on, you can go ahead and do that because I'm being spotlighted. There we
Hi
go.
there. Hi, Sandra.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. Thank you.
So exciting. Thank you, girls, for joining me. I love this.
Yes.
And so, let's just go back to it again. Like, those little things that we're doing, they all are important. And I think what happens to most people is that we say, like, oh my God, I want to lose 20 pounds. And we've lost 1 pound or we've lost 2 pounds. And unfortunately, what happens is that we haven't come to our actual goal. So we're not celebrating that step in the process. It doesn't end up being part of the actual goals. And so, what I have, I've done a lot of research for myself, for my clients, and I used to use a really good book. And it was one of the books that I kind of modeled a little bit about what I was creating in the Small Steps Big Win Planner. But this book, helped me to prioritize. What I found complicated about the book, it was about the goals. And I found that it was like taking the full year of the goals and chunking it into a quarterly book. It didn't make sense to me. I thought it was really important to have those quarterly goals to be able to actually achieve them and actually remember them. So when I'm looking at my book or when I'm going to write things down, I'll have one book that I'm using and it's going to identify the three main goals for the next 3 months. So, for example, if we're thinking about Liz and we're thinking about her publishing, what do you think a milestone goal could be for you in the next 3 months? Like the big milestone goal.
Um, well, having at least a a rough outline of how it's going to look, and perhaps some content
Okay.
already chosen. And I think we start from there because I'm doing more of a visual. So I already have all the visuals that I want to use, and then
Okay.
pair that with some written content to go with it. So I have an idea of how I want to present it. Is just it's bits and pieces, and I have an ending, I have the middle, I have have page 12, but I don't have page 2, type of thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So your big goal for 3 months will be to have an outline at the end of 3 months. So it's the outline that you want to achieve and in that 3 months.
Right.
So what I want you to think about when you're thinking about the things that you're doing on a daily basis. Now, so I want to again, rewind, Crystal, because I'm going all over the place. It's been a while since I've done a Facebook Live that was a little bit more on the fly instead of being planned out. So I'm kind of going all over the
You're
place.
doing great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Um, and so our goals need to be smart, okay? They need to be specific. So the specific goal is I want to have an outline of my book by
Mhm,
March, whatever. It has to
mhm,
be achievable and attainable. And I
mhm,
think this is what some people fail at, is that they don't put an achievable goal. They'll say, like, within the next 3 months, I plan on losing 20 pounds, but that's like 8 pounds, about 8 pounds a month. That's a lot of weight to lose. And if you're not used to losing that kind of weight, if you haven't set yourself up for success, you end up at the end of 3 months and you don't know how to do it. Okay. So I think that what you've done right now is you've created an achievable goal, because you're not saying that you're going to create the book. No, you're going to have the outline. So what does that having that outline look? At one point, you're going to have to sit down, maybe create a Google Doc and brainstorm all the different ideas that you have. And so that's going to be one part of your goal. But every single day, we should be trying to prioritize the things that are going to align with our goals. So if my goal is to have 12 in-person speaking presentations this year, I have to do things every single day in order for me to be able to get that, which means that I have to do a reach out to somebody, connect with this person, write down more about like the different types of companies that I want to do. And so every day I should have something in my priority that's going to allow me to get to that goal eventually. Because if we don't put it on our calendar, it doesn't exist. So we need to prioritize these things every single day, which is why when I created this book, and I'm not trying to plug the book. Okay, I'm trying to plug the book. I'm always going to plug my book.
Hey, plug it. It's great.
Honestly, come on, guys.
It's just, yeah,
Support small business, huh?
you gotta plug yourself.
What we gotta do. If
and
we're
products.
supporting celebrities of today, we can support our friends, and I can sell myself. I can do this. I have no reason not to. So I created the book with, I said celebration in mind. I set it up with priorities in mind. I set it up with being able to reflect on your goals in mind. I set it up in a way that you'd be able to use the one thing and kind of work backwards towards the things that you want to do. And so if you don't have a copy of the book, I'm still going to go and I'm going to show you what it looks like. And we're going to do the first thing. So the first things first is you get an area inside of your book that allows you to fill out 3 quarterly goals. Now, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're not, or you're just, you're an executive, you're working with somebody, it doesn't matter. Whoops, I'm just going to put you on mute. There you go. And so it doesn't matter who you are, we all have goals. Okay. So whether the goal is to lose weight, or the goal is to spend more time with family, or whether the goal is to climb Mount Everest, it doesn't really matter what it is. We all have at least maybe 1 or 2 goals that we want to actually put in here. And so you will outline your goals at the beginning. And so it gives you a space over here. And you could do this in a book. You can do it anywhere. The reason why I put it all together in one thing is because honestly, it was really annoying for me to have a journal, a notebook, a planner, and all of that kind of crap. I literally put it all together in the one place to make it super easy for us. Okay. And we can go back to the beginning of our book and look at our goals and be like, oh my God, look where we got to. It gives you a space over here on the bottom to really fill out the details of what this goal looks like, So why do you want to do this? What is the reason why you want to do this? I'm going to share it here. I want to get into the best shape of my life this year. I am pretty healthy in general. Well, healthy-ish. I would say like on a scale of 100%, I would say I'm probably about a 70. And some of you might think it's more, but it's definitely not as close to 100% healthy as I would like to be, or as I would like to pretend I am. And yeah, Mia's saying on Facebook, she's like, yes, sell that book. I love her. She's so cute. And so it gives you an opportunity to really like draft it out. I think creative flow is important. It doesn't have to be like, I found very restrictive in like setting up SMART goals. I felt like I was almost pushing my own buttons. I think I was a little bit more creative than that. And I'd like to be able to like think out the things that were important to me as I was going. And so I left it kind of blank space style. So you can go ahead and you can do SMART goals. You can put it in there in the SMART format, but it gives you an opportunity to really just go in there and go wild with your imagination of what your goal for the next 3 months is going to be. And then I want you to think about why these goals are so important to you. So my goal, I might not do the actual competition, but I want to be in shape enough to be able to do a fitness competition. Sandra's like, yeah. So I want to be in shape enough to do one if I choose to do one. So I'm not really committed to actually doing one just yet. But why is this important for me? This is important for me to prove so much to myself that I'm capable of doing really, really hard things. Food is my friend. It's my comfort. I am consistent with working out, but not with the balance of the two of those things. I am 44 this year, so I just turned 44, and I feel healthier than I've ever felt. But I want to prove to people that the older we get, the stronger we become, not just mentally, but physically as well. And I don't believe in growing old. I believe in growing strong. And I feel like this for me is going to be an embodiment of what it is that I need to do. I could have just written all of that down, and I think I might go back and watch the replay and I might write all of that down. But that's what you're going to write in your book because you're going to be connecting to an emotional attachment. Emotion is the key to finding these goals. Liz, when you think about the goal of writing your book, what is the emotion that's tied to it?
I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's having it like contributing. It's contributing to something to be have some kind of legacy. I don't know how you want to what emotion that is. Whether it's
Desire.
desire, want to be proud of myself, and like I am proud of myself. But I think doing this for myself is a big step for me to feel more proud of myself. So I think
Feeling like you
that,
made a difference, I feel.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's the emotion that right now I'm feeling.
Are you
Is
feeling like where are you feeling that emotion?
in my heart. In my
Yeah.
heart. I think, yeah, in the I don't know which chakra that is, but in the the heart
In the
chakra,
heart,
I
in
believe.
the heart chakra.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, so it's in the heart and we're connecting. Oh, Sandra's giving us hearts. Is it going to do it for me? No, it's not doing it. Anyway, um, so it's in the heart chakra. It's in your body. It's like a physical manifestation of the love and the feeling of pride and the feeling of giving back to our community. I'm gonna throw it to Sandra. Do you thinking about your goal for this year? Um, what what is the feelings that you have associated to these goals?
For me, it's really freedom. Like this year, it's freedom in my mind. Close the door. My boyfriend is like, freedom in my mind, freedom in my emotions, like being emotionally free of like all my, past limitations. And for me, what really helps me connect to my goals, because like I love like the planner, like I use your planner, but I also need like you're putting on the table an emotional connection. Like my mammalian brain needs to connect to something. So for me, visuals is super important. Like creating vision boards, like digital, and for me to see every day, for me to be reminded, it really helps to um, allows the feelings to expand inside of me. And once they expand inside of me, it's like there's no limit. It's like I'm I'm energetically attached to my dreams, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
freedom.
feel like that feeling is like an all over body feeling because I was just gonna ask you
Yes.
what the feeling is, but like you said it so clearly, it's almost like a full body experience.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you feel like there's no it's like you just feel like there's no separation between you and what it is that you desire. It's all energetically intertwined, and I feel that spaciousness, and that's the beauty of allowing yourself to really dream, larger than your reptilian brain, really. So
That was beautiful. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you so much for
yeah,
bringing it to the table.
yeah.
I love hearing these things. And that's why I have the reflection aspect in the book always.
Yes,
I think we again, the emotional aspect of the things that we want, we have to connect it to emotion.
yes,
Otherwise, it doesn't anchor itself in you,
exactly.
which is a why only 9% of New Year's resolutions actually stick. 9%. That is nothing. That's like out of 100 people, 9 people decided to stick with it. And I can almost guarantee you that those 9 people have connected it to emotion. They've connected it to their sole purpose. They've connected it to a passion that's deeper than just the number that's written on the page, right?
And I feel like for example, your journal helps prepare the success for all your goals, because the reason why people fail as well is that they're not preparing themselves mentally, emotionally. So they just said, oh, on the first, this is what's going to happen. And then they start off strong, and then they lose the momentum because they're fixated on the goal. But it's really the small steps and the small wins, like you said, like in your, in your small steps, big wins. So I feel preparing yourself is really important, not
Yeah.
just waiting for the deadline of the first.
And
It's
that brings me
yeah,
back to the celebration of our successes. We got to
yes,
celebrate every freaking damn little thing that we're doing.
yes,
Like Sandra and I, we had a successful retreat this year on November 15th. It was phenomenal. But I think one of the things that we really did well in the process, because I think we started what in April? We
yeah,
March, I think something like that.
something like that. Yeah,
March or April. And every week it was like we would celebrate each other in that conversation that we had. We were like, okay, we got this. This is the ideas. Yeah, we're doing amazing. Like we hadn't sold any tickets yet and we didn't know who was going to be showing up, but we celebrated every single little thing that happened every single time that we met. And I know for myself is that every time I got off the phone with somebody to book something for that thing, it was like, check, check. It wasn't, I didn't hit the goal yet of hosting the retreat and having that be a success. I celebrated along the way every single little thing that we were doing in order to get us there, which keeps the cadence to the goal. Because once we
exactly.
stop that cadence, that's when we end up forgetting all of the actual goals that we have, right? If we can't find success in the things that we're doing. And so the way that I've built out the way that I look at goals, I always have like a weekly preview. And so I put that in the book as well. I put one at the beginning of the book, obviously very important, but you haven't started your like to reflect on your past weeks yet, but I still want you to have that opportunity to look at it now. So if you think about your last week, what were some of your successes, right? Like this is giving you an opportunity not only on the daily, but it's to making you go back and reflect on what the previous week looked like. And once you've started doing this book or once you started doing this practice, however you decide to do it, because you'll be doing this practice on a daily basis where you're outlining your successes and you're outlining the things and you're having reflection upon yourself at the end of your work day or even your personal day. I know some people that do this right before they go to bed at night and it's a way to like
Yes, that's
turn
wonderful.
off the
Yeah,
chatter, right? Like to be able to say, like, I've accomplished so much today. I might have had 20 things on my list of to do, but I did five of the most important things to be able to help me reach my goals. That is pivotal. And so by starting off your week, whether you started off on a Sunday or you started off on a Monday, it doesn't matter where you started. Even do it on Sunday. You can even do it on Friday night. It's totally how you want to do it. I personally, I use this book more instead of 7 days, I use it 5 days. And I think that's the fun part about it is that like I just don't follow my own book. I've created it, but I don't really follow it all the time. I use it how I feel necessary. And so for me, I use a lot of this for like my work and the goals that I have for my work. I should probably use it for my personal goals this year, especially if I want to be in that kind of shape by the end of the year. So we're gonna
I think that's really important what you just said, Crystal, that you even use your own book differently than what you had planned it, because it's not, I think that stops a lot of people when they're doing their goals or when they're, listening to a model that somebody that, has an example, set an example. It doesn't always work for you in this moment in your life exactly the way it did for somebody else or even for yourself 5 months ago. So you need to be flexible and adapt even your own material to your reality now so that it can help you maximize,
I
I
freaking
love
love
that.
that.
Yeah.
I freaking love that because I think again that's the pressure that we put on ourselves as human beings to be able to accomplish all of the things that are on our list, right? Like it puts us into so much pressure. And many people don't understand manifestation, but one of the things that you just said is that the way that we manifest things, it doesn't always end up turning out the way that you expect it to happen. It will happen the way that it's meant to happen,
Yes.
in not the way that you were expecting. And so we have to let go of some of the results. Like I might get to my goal at the end of the year, but there might be tons of things that I either ended up doing or didn't do. and still reaching my goal. But I have to let go at some point. I can't be controlling everything. And so, a great story, my brother's gonna, if he's watching, he probably isn't watching. So, but so the other day, he said that he wanted to do something. I can't say what it is because it's still part of a gift. So, I can't say actually what it is. And so, he popped it in our group chat. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so cool. I'm so glad that you're saying this because I was planning on doing something like this last week. And so he made a joke and he's like, okay, Crystal, manifesting your way, to getting things done. And I was just like, yeah, actually,
Pretty much.
yeah, pretty much. I didn't have to do it. You're doing it for me. And it's still getting done.
Yeah. Love
And
that.
it's still going to be partially
Yeah.
coming from me.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, like, we have to release as to how it's going to come to us.
Yes. Yes.
We have to release how it's going to come to us. It's going to come to us. It's, did I think that I was going to get the other planners out this year? Not at all. It was not even on my fucking radar. Not even. And then poof, magically, I decided that I was going to like, okay, we're going to do it. And we did it. And we got them out in time and we sold out of all the physical copies. We sold a whole bunch of them on Amazon. And again, like, but I had to release that because otherwise I just threw it out into the universe. I'm like, hey, I have 25 copies of the book. Anybody want them? I sold 20 of the 25. Like, what? I gave away 4. I gave away
And now
4.
that you told that story, you're gonna sell more because I didn't think about it. I'm gonna share your link for your books. I didn't even think
Please,
about it. So
please do.
there you
Thank
go. You're manifesting even more.
Exactly. So it does not happen the exact way that you're expecting things to happen. So we need to release how it's going to come.
Yes.
You
Release the
have to
outcome.
but you have to remember that like you're still setting yourself up for success. Now, one of the things that people often get confused is that they'll, so people will pray, right? Pray to God that this is going to happen. And then we just wait.
And then we get mad at God.
Yeah, then we get mad at God, but we didn't do anything. Like we actually didn't take any actions. Like you can be provided in any number of ways, but if you don't actually take steps to get there, whether the right steps or the wrong steps, you're never going to make it. So you have to take small, consecutive, little, tiny steps in the direction that you want to go. If I say I want to be healthy, well, that means that I have to not only do I need to be in the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, not only do I have to do that, but I have to speak with a trainer because I don't know like I'm not a personal trainer. Like I do help my clients, I do go to the gym with my clients. I do those kinds of things, but that's not my specialty to get in this kind of shape of my life. Like I get people moving on the small scale, but I don't, I've never trained for a fitness competition, so I have no idea what the hell that looks like. And not only that, there's the training, but then there's the eating. Like I've never looked at macros. Like what? Like what's a macro? I don't understand. I've never understood it. I don't understand calories. I've never understood it. Like I've never researched going into a calorie deficit or XYZ. So how the hell am I supposed to reach my goal if I don't start doing these things to support myself along the way? I can't just sit there and be like, I want to be in the best shape of my life. Point final. Please, somebody magically give me how I'm going to do it. No, I got to take the steps. And so going back to the book again, the first time you use the book, the first weekly preview is going to be a little bit weird for you because, like I said, you're not used to it, but you can always talk about the wins of your previous week. How far did you get on the last 3 weeks, the last week's top 3 priorities? We're going to talk about that after we go through some of the daily work that we have to do. We're going to talk about what worked well, what didn't work, what we want to change. We're going to talk a little bit about affirmations, right? Affirmations is super important. Like I am strong and I am capable. Like I do believe that about myself, right? So affirmations are really important, but we also have to believe the affirmations to be true. So I think one of the things that also people have a hard time with is that we're trying to say things about ourselves that are not necessarily true right now, or we don't believe them to be true about ourselves. And so when we're starting with affirmations and thinking about who we are, I want you to think about what do you feel about yourself right now? You know, how strong do you feel? Like, I feel like I'm at the strongest point that I've ever been at in my whole life. That's more of the truth than, right? Because today, right now, I am the strongest that I've ever been. It's true, but I'm not the strongest that I'm ever going to be. I'm not the strongest person that I've ever met. Those are things that doesn't make it doesn't resonate with me. So picking affirmations that we believe that can be true at the moment, and then adding on that at this particular time. Like, I am the strongest that I've ever been right now in my life. That's true. So when we think about priorities, I want you to think about your priorities linked to your goals. So when you're thinking about the things that you need to do on a daily basis, you should always have between 1 and 3 things that are priorities for you that are non-negotiable that you need to get done on your day to be able to reach that quarterly goal. So for example, like Liz, she wants to have the outline. One of the things that she needs to put into her calendar every day is maybe 5 minutes of research. Is that something that you can actually reasonably do?
Yes. Yes.
5 minutes of
100%.
research, right? But if you were to tell me, okay, well, I'm going to put in an hour in my calendar, is that reasonable?
No.
Right? Because we haven't done it before, right? If I
Right.
tell myself that I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week, but I've only been going to the gym twice a week or once a week, I'm never going to achieve that goal. So we have to make sure that we set priorities for ourselves that are reasonable. So in Liz's case, it might be 5 minutes or 10 minutes of research. Today, we're putting that on our calendar. And, I love using my planner, but I also really, really, I love using my digital calendar because I'm able to move things around. So I pair my planner, my physical planner, with my digital planner, and I move things around. I take a look at my day, and then those priorities for my day get put in my calendar. Because if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. You're not going to be able to get to exactly where you have to go. You'll never be able to get where you have to go if you don't actually put it in your calendar. So when you're going into your day to day, so starting tomorrow or starting next week, whenever you want to start, if you start next month, I don't care. It doesn't matter when you start. I want you to take a look at these pages. So the daily pages, we have the first things first on your day. What are you grateful for? I want you to start your day with so much love and so much power, because when you start your day with gratitude, it just shapes the way that the rest of the day is going to go. And it might feel weird to you if you're somebody that has never had the opportunity to bring gratitude into your day to day. But here's the thing. Gratitude is going to change your life. It's going to change your mindset. It's going to change the physiology of your body, because when we're happy, we feel better. Our heart, opens, the heart center opens. Everything just ends up feeling better. And so I want you to take a moment every day and just write one phrase. It could be longer. I gave you space, or like I said, you can use whatever you want. But there's like 4 lines there to be able to write what you're grateful for. And it could start off what you quote unquote call silly. It could be, I'm grateful for my warm bed. I'm grateful for this taste of coffee this morning. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for this beautiful mug. And I know it's crazy, but I'm grateful for it because it fits so much tea and it's nice and it's warm and I enjoy it. Right, Liz?
Right.
Not warm anymore, but it means something. And so over here is where you're going to be able to set out your priorities. So now, like I said, you could start small. You can start a bit bigger. If you want to start with one goal, one priority per goal, right? So what is getting to where you have to go? Like, what is the most important thing that you have to do today? And that's the thing that has to get booked on your calendar. Then you have an area on the bottom for all of the other tasks. So you can see over here all of the other tasks. And what is my tea? What's my tea? Ada, I am drinking a nettle tea right now. It's cold, but it's a nettle tea. And so the other tasks, like I said, guys, tasks are great to have, but we're gonna have a never-ending list of tasks. Never ending.
Yeah.
I promise you. I've worked with clients that had pages and pages of tasks, and it didn't matter how many they checked off the list, because the whole list wasn't checked off. They were never happy. They were never, ever able to be proud of the work that they did. So it's very important that you understand that your priorities towards your goals are the most important things in your life right now. So if your goal is spending more time with family, well, you making sure that you're home for family dinner tonight has to be on your priority list. It has to be there. And that's the one that you have to celebrate every single freaking time that it's on your calendar. You got to celebrate it. And if you have other tasks that you have to do, perfect. Put them in there. If you get them done, great. Those are tasks, not priorities. Very big difference. Okay. And so, some days I'll get 100 things done. Some days I'll get 10 things done. It doesn't mean that my day was any less productive. It just means that I did my priorities for the day and I did 10 other tasks and I'm happy and I'm content with what I'm doing. Right, Sandra? Right.
Yes, and I'll add to that. Sometimes it's zero, and that's
Yeah.
you have to listen to that too, because you need the zeros to support you in the 10, 100, So
Yeah. Yeah. Because there are, again,
we
slowing it
had
slowing
we
it
had
down.
those moments. Yeah.
I had the last 3 weeks off, and I can't tell you how many days that I had shit all on my list. Nothing. Crap. Zero. And my mom was asking, she's like, what have you been doing? I'm like, nothing. What time did you wake up? Late. What time did you go to bed? Early. Like, don't even care. Like,
Yeah.
it was just
We need that.
you need that to be able to catch yourself up. So on the other side of the book, there's two areas that I want you to think about. And I think it's really important. One, notes. It doesn't matter how you use this again. Some people use this as actually as their kind of daily journal if they want to like journalize the things that they're thinking and they're feeling. I personally use it like this. Hold on. I just use it like I just jot crap down. I just jot down whatever, like if something pops into my head, I jot it down on the side. Like that's how I use the notes field. I don't use it in any, like, again, no specific way. Release it into the universe. However you use it, the better that it is for you. And then the second portion on the bottom is your daily reflection. This is the part that people like to do at the end of the day, like I was mentioning before, reflecting on the day. How are you? How proud are you of the things that you've done? Did you, accomplish any of the priorities in the top 3 list, right? And like I said, you can have one priority, you can have 3 priorities, but we can't have 10 priorities because you can't get 10 things in your calendar that are priorities, that are actually going to be priorities to get you to your goals. Okay. And so I've set it up so that you have all of that like on a daily basis every single day. And then at the end of the week, you do the reflection and it's like you're building this habit. So like if you are trying to train yourself to do something new, doing something like this is actually the first step in actually you achieving your future goals. So your goal might be have a little bit more intention every single day. And that's going to get you to being able to create a goal in the next 3 months. So your goal in the next 3 months is to create the foundation of being able to set bigger goals. It's the foundation of it all. So thinking small is important to end up having those big things being accomplished over time. Because when you get to the end of 3 months, you're going to see how much you did. And sometimes you're going to achieve the goal early. Sometimes you won't achieve it in the 3 months, but it's going to give you the opportunity to take a look at it. What did you do? What went wrong? Did you overestimate what you were capable of doing? Or did you underestimate how much work that it was going to take? Did you underestimate the amount of steps that it was going to take you to get to that goal? If the answer is yes, then you have an opportunity. You've created a foundation and you're able to course correct and you'll be able to continue. And so therefore, that's why the idea of New Year's resolutions is bogus, because we can't just create a resolution. We can't just create something and be like, okay, I'm going to do this. Well, without really thinking about all of it, that's why it doesn't stick. That's why it doesn't stick.
We're creating a life, not a resolution.
Oh,
You know?
thank God. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you very much for that. So I'm going to throw it out for questions right now, besides the what's your tea, Ada. But I've got some of you that are on Facebook. I've got 2 or 3 people that popping in and out on Facebook. And I have you ladies over here. Do you guys have any questions about what we talked about so far today?
Hmm.
No.
No?
I think it's pretty clear. You laid it out pretty Yes. I think
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Mm.
I'm glad that it was clear because it's funny because I was just like, okay, 2 days or 3 days ago, I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I'm just like, what am I
Mm.
doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I want to start the new year with people.
Mhm.
I want to get us started together. And so I felt a little bit, so goal, I achieved my goal.
You did it.
Achieved
And
my goal.
you released the outcome of it being perfect. It just who was going to show up showed up, and it's beautiful. And you know what I love, going back to the feeling, what I want to really infuse this conversation with is no matter what our goals are, it's got to be fun too. We got to
Oh,
have pleasure. That was one of the pillars in our retreat. But let's have fun doing it, because in the end, it's not what we do, it's who we become. And if we are doing stuff just to achieve, and we're like not having fun, and we're like rigid, and then what's the point, right? So pleasure
oh
for
my God.
2025.
That
Yeah.
is that is
Mhm.
100%, guys.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Oh, I've got Mia that's saying Carmen is very intrigued. Carmen, I got you, baby. We're gonna have a session together. I love you. Carmen is the beautiful daughter of one of my really good friends, and I'm really looking forward to actually meeting with her and working with her this year.
Oh,
So, but yeah, pleasure is super important because I think if you don't, again, tagging it to the emotion, like if
yeah.
you want to lose 20 pounds. All right, I want to lose 20 pounds. But what does that look like? Why does it like why is that such an important number for you? And how are we going to do it and have fun doing it? So a lot of people they start these New Year's resolutions like I got to go to the gym. I've got to get healthy. I fucking hated going to the gym. Weights used to drive me crazy. And so when I had the goal of going to the gym to lose weight specifically, I was miserable. And guess what? I did not achieve my goal. And guess what? Did I go to the gym 5 days a week? I did. Did I go for an hour every time? I did. Did I do Atkins diet? I did. I did everything. And I didn't lose a fucking pound. I guess I wasn't having fun.
And now
What's
you're dancing and you're having fun.
Now I'm dancing, and now I actually enjoy going to the gym because it's complementing something else that I do
Yes.
that I enjoy, that
Yes.
makes me happy, that
Mhm.
makes me passionate. When I get on my roller skates, that's another way for me to like, get my body moving and I'm enjoying it. So I'm constantly filling my life with things that are fulfilling. The journey is the most important thing. It is not the end goal. We've got to enjoy the process. We've got to enjoy waking up every single day because otherwise we just wait for the goal, achieve the goal, and then you're like, what's next? That's not life. That's not life, guys. Um, so I can't believe we've already been talking for an hour. I didn't even know how long it was going to be. I said I'm usually pretty good at doing an hour. Sometimes I go a little longer. So I'm going to throw it
Thank
out
you.
there. You guys are amazing. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
me on Zoom. Thank you for joining me live on Facebook. I truly appreciate you. I appreciate the actual interaction that I'm having here, but I'm appreciating all of the comments that I've gotten on Facebook as well. Um, guys, have a prosperous, healthy, happy, passionate, intentional new year. I wish you all of your dreams coming true. Where is all these celebrations coming from, and why don't I have reactions? Hold on, I want
You don't have
I
reaction. Ah, there you go. Woo!
So I'm wishing you all of the best for the new year, um, to infinity and beyond, because
Yes.
just the beginning of the rest of our lives. We have every opportunity to enjoy the process while we're getting there, and I look forward to doing all of that with you guys.
Yay!
Hey, thank
Bye,
you so much.
everyone. Bye, Elizabeth.
Thank
Bye.
Nice
you
to meet
so much,
Bye.
you.
Same
everybody.
here.
I love you.
Love
Thank
you.
you. Oh, yeah, I'm getting lots
Yay.
of
Bye.
bubbles and hearts
See you
on.
at dance class.
See you at dance class. Are you coming this week?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Trekking my butt all the way to LaSalle for you.
Yes, baby. You're doing
All right.
it. All right, I'll see you
Okay.
there. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.